Don't say it. Don't say it. You're about to say hello. Don't say it. Welcome to Discover Progress, the podcast that used to be about progress wrestling. Sometimes it still is, but one of us has commitment issues. Although, are we getting over the commitment issues?
I think we are getting over
considering
those issues.
Considering we're nearly done the latest chapter of Progress.
Yeah.
It takes time to watch it.
Oh, we only watch it at lunch.
Yeah, we only watch basically an hour at a time.
Yeah. Luckily, they're only about 3 hours.
Yeah,
so it works out.
2 to 3 hours. Roughly in there, so it's fine. It's fine. Next week we'll be able to tell you our thoughts on Progress Chapter 90 because it takes us a little. It takes me about as long to watch a chapter of Progress as it does for me to read a chapter in a book. A couple weeks.
Several weeks.
Anyway, Discover Progress with that guy,
Adam, and that guy,
David, and of course you can find us in all the places you find things, the internet. That's where you find everything, is on the internet. You can find us, iTunes, Google Play, all that kind of stuff. Wherever you get your podcasts, as well as allwrestling.com. You can also find us on social medias at Disc Progress, Instagram being The Adam Show, Twitter being The David Show. So there you go. We got that out of the way. We're on a roll. We're like being real to
efficient.
The point. Yeah, efficient. So with that, let's get into Adam's question of the day.
All right. So this is I was going to ask you a question about one Damian Priest.
Okay.
And I'm going to continue to ask you a question.
Okay. It's like, what is this setup? I was going to, now I'm not, because I struggle with commitment issues.
Yes. So his ROH television championship reign was 105 days.
All right.
Started on June 16th, 2018. It ended September 29th.
Oh, I thought the question was going to be, it lasted 105 days. What day did it end?
Who beat him for the belt?
Oh. My guess is Jeff Cobb.
Hey, he did it. Who did Punishment beat for the belt?
Did he beat the last real man? No, he didn't. That wouldn't make sense. Punishment Martinez. It's not Silas Young, right? Or is it Silas Young?
Is that your answer?
Oh, but it could. I mean, it could have been. I mean, my answer is either. I mean, maybe it was in a multi-man match and he won, or it was Kenny King.
It was a Proving Ground 6-Man Mayhem instant reward match that Punishment won.
Yeah.
It was not Kenny King.
No.
It was indeed the last real man.
Okay, there you go.
Silas Young.
I feel like they were kind of doing title stuff around that time, both those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Was that your questions?
Yeah.
Because then I've got some songs for yous.
David's
I feel
music
like
of the day.
I feel like the first one might be easier than the second one.
That's fair.
Okay? The first one I feel you should get pretty quick. The second one, you should get it too, but maybe. I don't think I'd get the second one. Anyway, here's your first one. If you looked at the monitor right now, it literally says his name.
Is that the Irish Ace?
Yes. And that's literally what the monitor says right now. Irish Ace. Who is the Irish Ace?
One import killer.
Import killer?
Or killer import.
Yeah.
Jordan Devlin.
I was hoping you were just going to drop something completely incorrect. Finn Balor. No, but he's trying to get out from under his shadow.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Are you ready for this one?
All right.
Here we go.
Is it a WWE superstar?
Yes.
NXT superstar?
Yes.
Are they no longer a WWE person?
Not 100% sure. I want to say yes. We haven't seen them very much, and we haven't seen them in a little bit.
Perhaps is it a she?
Correct.
Perhaps is she dating one villainous character?
I can neither confirm nor deny because I don't know their current relationship status.
Is it the virtuoso Diana Perazzo, master of the Fujiwara arm?
It is Diana Perazzo. Man, we nailed that trivia today.
That was great.
Yeah, we
did. You guys nail it? I hope so.
I hope so. I hope so. You nailed it. Although in this picture, she kind of like when I looked it up, I was confusing myself. I'm like, wait. For a moment, I was like, is that Sonya Deville? She kind of reminds me. Not quite.
This is the cheekbones. Very high cheekbones.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. We got that one.
We did it.
Out of the way.
Congratulations.
I did not write any notes as to what to talk about. So
what
have we watched?
We have watched...
I mean, we just got finished watching NXT.
2/3 of Progress Chapter 90, Prog on the Tyne.
I think we'll save that until we'll
save that one. We watch NXT UK.
Oh, I do know what I want to talk about before we get into the NXTs. Before the NXTeaser. This is the NXTeaser before we get into the NXT. I don't know what that means. I watched recently the very last match in DEFY Wrestling for Shane Strickland, which, of course, now in NXT he's Isaiah Scott. Yeah. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Swerve's house. And he fought on DEFY Wrestling. He fought Darby Allin. And I've been watching an awful lot of Darby Allin lately.
Have been.
And it's not by choice. It's not like I'm looking out for Darby Allin matches. He's literally just everywhere. It's unbelievable. So, so I watched that match, and then unknowingly I was watching WrestleRama, which is the latest show from Over the Top Wrestling in Ireland.
Right.
And guess who's on that show? Darby
Orange
Allin.
Cassidy. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, also on that show though was I believe his last match in Europe at this point anyway. Like I'm sure when AEW goes over there, he'll be there. But Jimmy Lovely Havoc.
He is a very lovely man.
Yeah, he was in a match, and I think if I remember correctly, that may have been his last match in Europe. But
former King of the Death match.
Yeah, and so it's funny, just Darby Allin everywhere. But that match that he had with Shane Strickland, now Isaiah Scott in his past life, so good. I mean, they pulled out because obviously Darby Allin does have a history of death match sort of. Insanity, and they didn't go down that route entirely, but they for some reason they pulled out thumbtacks. I wasn't sure why. Like usually that's almost like not the last resort necessarily, but it like escalates and then you get to thumbtacks. And everyone's like, and they pop like crazy because they pull out the bag and there's the thumbtacks. This one just went straight there. Maybe there was a little bit of chair work early on. I can't really remember, but
interesting.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match though. It's like so good. If you're looking for something to watch and you've got a way to watch, DEFY, I'm sure will post it at some point in time. It's the main event on their latest DEFY now, which again, it's from like March. So keeping up. It's all good. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch if you can find it. Maybe you're subscribed to one of the many services that DEFY is on. Like so many. DEFY now, like their DEFY on demand or whatever, is like $3.99 a month.
Wow,
it's ridiculously cheap. That one gives you access to some different promotions as well. Like Progress is on there, but Progress, I believe, it's like a collection of random sort of chapters. So if you're wanting to try and stay up to date on Progress, maybe not. But yeah, it's so stupid cheap. But yeah, definitely worth a looking out for. I was trying to think of anything else I was watching. Still just working through WrestleRama because it's so long. It's like,
19 hours.
Yeah. Well, say compared to like, it's probably, the funny thing is it's probably like close to average length for a regular WWE pay-per-view.
Yes. It's almost average length for Raw.
It's like 4 hours long. Yeah. It just feels so long because it's all wrestling. Oh, allwrestling.com. Over the Top are still the masters of the pre-match hype video sort of thing, fill you in on the story,
right? Because
they had one for Mark Haskins and Terry Thatcher, and I know nothing about their story, although it appears as though they Over the Top has a championship called the Gender Neutral Championship, and I was thinking about this. I was like, is that really necessary? Because we've had like, you look at Lucha Underground, and I know Sexy Star at one point was their champion and all this stuff, but so I'm like, we've had women go and compete and be
male champions,
right? Like main title champions in different promotions. But I don't know, and that's looked upon fine. You know, it's like, oh, that's great, right? Like when someone does it. I'm sure it would not be looked upon so fine if it was like some guy was a women's champion. So I was like, I get why they did this gender neutral thing. Just make it so it's like, it's never, I mean, it's a surprise, but not a surprise when someone challenges. You know what I mean? Like, oh, anybody can do this. And we're starting to see more kind of like intergender matches happening, especially in indie wrestling, more often.
Yeah.
It happens quite often. Usually every card has some kind of, whether it's an intergender, like a mixed tag match, but it's not WWE mixed tag match rules. Yeah. It's like, you're in. But anyway, something that was neat on this one, I guess, though, Mark Haskins coming into this match is the gender-neutral champion, and he fought Terry Thatcher previously. He went into that match as gender-neutral champion and lost. So he lost the belt, Mark Haskins did. But I haven't filled this in yet. They have something that's clearly like Money in the Bank, where you can cash in.
Right.
Because Haskins lost, and as Thatcher was celebrating, Haskins ran to the back, and apparently he was in possession of this briefcase, grabbed it, hit Thatcher with the briefcase, cashed it in to win the belt back.
Oh, man.
Which I was like, that's actually pretty interesting booking. So they kind of covered that, and Thatcher was playing the whole, you know, I do this for my child sort of thing. I want to make her proud and blah, 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 blah. And it was just this really, you know, touching video. They did a really good job.
Oh, that's good.
They don't do it for every match on the card because not every match needs it. But also on that card was Rey Horus and Bandito. Ooh. That's a match that's you could watch for days. It's real good. But, yeah, so anyway, that's going to bring us to NXT UK. Okay.
UK.
What happened this week?
Kaylee Ray yelled at Tony Storm. Tony Storm yelled at Kaylee Ray.
So I think you've pretty much won our predictions episode where we tried to predict
that
NXT TakeOver Cardiff. NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. Because, here's the one thing. That match I thought would be essentially the Travis Banks match where it was just going to happen and then we move on. So I did not pick that to be the women's match at TakeOver Cardiff. And Kaylee Ray made it official this week by saying, I'm going to wait until the biggest show that we've ever had, NXT UK TakeOver in Cardiff. So that's official. That's, I think, the only match thus far official on the card. But then my tag titles idea is basically out the window because we can talk about this from Progress.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, in Progress, they're known as the 198, which
is a super cool storyline going.
Where they stole the belt.
They stole the belt from the Aussie Open.
Yeah. Because they're like some of the longest serving. And by they, it's Flash Morgan Webster and Wild Boar Mike Hitchman.
Yeah.
They are in a tag team in Progress. Of course, they are not in a tag team in NXT UK. Hitchman's in a tag team with Primate, and Flash Morgan Webster's in a tag team sometimes with Mark Andrews. But so Hitchman and Webster are a tag team called the 198. And they're basically saying we've been here for so long since nearly the beginning and we haven't won.
We've never really been given opportunities.
And so this is our opportunity. So they stole the belts with the intent to have a tag title match. But apparently Flash Morgan Webster is hurt. And it's like an out indefinitely sort of
dislocated his shoulder.
But I guess he's had surgeries on it and had issues with it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like, can he actually keep going? So, I mean, I guess we'll see. But I bring that up because on that predictions episode, I said Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster were going to win
Wales
the belts.
Subculture.
Yeah, they were going to win the belts. But with the help of Eddie Dennis, actually, who's also currently hurt.
No, he's getting back.
He might be better by now.
He's on the mend.
Like for sure at Progress 91 and 92, he is hurt. He's in a sling. Because he showed up. I don't know that he showed up at 91 at all, but Chapter 90, he showed up for sure because he came and helped Mark Andrews in a sling. Remember, he was commentating, and then he left the. Or Mark Andrews came out and helped him, I think, actually, is what it was.
Maybe.
Because he went down to the ring. I forget who was in the ring. Was it Do Not Resuscitate? And they, surrounded him.
I only watched part of that one. You started watching that one without me.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So I missed the first bit.
But so, he was guest commentary, and I believe it was a match against, Do Not Resuscitate were in the match. And they'd done something basically gotten him all angry, and so he came down to the ring, and they surrounded him, and then Mark Andrews came out, and they stood back to back, and they helped each other and then hugged it out.
And Mark kicked him in the nuts.
No, it was all good. It was all good.
Solidifying his heel turn.
Yeah, but so he wasn't on 91. 92, he's the guest ring announcer. So, I mean, they may do something with it, but I'm pretty sure he's in a sling. Because Jimmy Smallman wasn't there for 92. Mm-hmm. So Eddie Dennis
is
the ring announcer, introducing everybody.
Now, this is all conjecture, because we haven't actually started watching 92.
No, but I know it happens. They announced it, that he was the ring announcer. And so, I'm assuming maybe he's out of a sling by that point. That was earlier this month that happened, I believe. So, who knows? Maybe by August 31st he could be fine. And maybe there's this, I don't know. I'd like to see him back. I would like to see, now that, like Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis have patched things up in progress, I would fully support, especially if Flash is out, I would fully support an FSU reunion in NXT UK. Obviously, it wouldn't be a reunion in NXT UK, but get those two together.
Yeah. We kind of had an FSU reunion. Apollo Crews came back.
Florida. Full Sail University. And you're jumping. You're like getting ahead of yourselves.
It had to be
that would have been great if we wrapped up our NXT UK discussion and then went into that. So screw the rest of the show.
No.
Trying to remember even what happened. I don't think it was that. Was it a good show? I don't think it was that great of a show this week.
NXT UK, no, it was kind of lackluster. The main event was great.
What was the main event? The main event was Tony Storm.
No, the main event was one Cassius Ohno.
Oh, right.
Versus
Mark Andrews. Go on.
Andrews.
I believe it's actually Mark John Andrews.
Mark J. Andrews. MJA.
MJA.
He's MJA, and he's better than you, and you know it. Wait, no, that's not right.
You got to say it in like some kind of Welsh or British slang.
I couldn't possibly.
I don't mean the accent. I just mean like you got to figure out some words instead of he's better than you and you know it. There's got to be some kind of saying that works. But I was surprised by that because I thought for sure, and maybe we're not done with it, but I thought we would see Cassius. Not necessarily like squash Andrews, but definitely get the better of him and win. But of course, in the end, and maybe Cassius can make that argument, but in the end, Andrews actually rolled him up and got the win. Because I thought, who knows? I would be okay with Mark Andrews, Cassius Ohno at TakeOver Cardiff.
Yeah, it was a good match.
But at the same point, I want somehow Mark Andrews to be in the tag title picture.
Yeah.
We got to have someone from Wales in a title picture for that show, I feel. But who could...
Right?
I mean, I guess you could make...
Currently, they're not... No one's...
No, you could make... Like, I mean, I guess the Hunt could be fighting for the tag belts, and you have Wild Boar, who's Welsh.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, right? But, like, if you could somehow... If it was possible to have Eddie Dennis and Mark Andrews back together and do that, but again, I don't know health-wise how far Eddie Dennis is out from returning and what they would do there. But, yeah, it feels weird if it's like... I mean, who do we think? Are we going to get Walter? I mean, we get Walter Trent 7 literally next week.
Yes.
So I don't know if that'll lead into a Walter Trent 7 title match in any way. Like if Imperium keep getting involved.
It's going to lead into Walter versus
Pete Dunne again.
Eddie Dennis.
Mark
Andrews. David Starr.
Yeah. What?
Wait, what? He's not.
No.
He's not in NXT.
No. So. Yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. But I did like the main event. The rest of the show, I think, was kind of
Eichner and Bartel dismantled Tyson T-Bone.
Oh, right.
And Saxon Huxley.
Muscle Cat.
The Muscle Cat. The ultrasonic inspector.
They, the like, diving European uppercut powerbomb thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they always perform it quite that way, where it was like, uppercut, Bartel's on the ground, powerbomb. Like, it definitely was not one motion.
No.
Like, it was very choppy. But I do like, and you pointed this out, I can't remember if you pointed it out on the show or not, but how basically all of their finishers are variations of the powerbomb.
Yes.
It's so great. So great. Because, like, Walter has the jackknife.
Yeah.
Like
Wolf
Eichner
does a sit-out. Eichner does the spinning.
Yeah.
Bartel's the only one who doesn't use a powerbomb.
Right, but I mean...
But as a tag team, their finisher is an uppercut into a powerbomb.
Into a powerbomb. So it counts, because we're just going to stick them together as a tag team.
That's how they always will be.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you do in that situation? Because, I mean, obviously they can fight for the tag belts at some point. What do you ever do with Alexander Wolf? Because whenever I see
fight Tony Storm,
because whenever I see like factions form,
yeah,
I'm in my mind. I'm always like, okay, they got to be built in one way to be like. Because if it's more than a tag team...
We're going to be draped in gold.
And that obviously doesn't necessarily always happen, but usually you can see, like, okay, this guy's going to do this, and this guy's going to do this, right? Like, I mean, when DX originally formed, I mean, it was technically just, like, when it was...
Well,
like Triple H sorry.
Originally, DX was Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
I was going to call him Michael Jackson. Shawn Michaels was going to be in the heavyweight, the title picture. Yeah. Triple H easily or mid-card title picture. And then obviously Chyna rolled around, which eventually she was that.
And she would have been a tag team with Rick Rude.
Yeah. And then Rick Rude was like,
I'm going
to WCW. Or like the later incarnation of DX. Yeah. Triple H, who then was... the main guy. Yeah. You had the New Age Outlaws, who were obviously tag, and then X-Pac, who was your mid-card.
Yeah, and right? Chyna, who was also your mid-card.
Who was also mid-card because she destroyed the women's division.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of times, looking at a modern-day DX, Undisputed Era, but Adam Cole.
Main event.
No, Adam Cole.
Bebe.
Is your main event guy.
Yeah.
Roddy Strong would be kind of like that North American title. And then
Fish and O'Reilly.
Yeah, Red Dragon is your tag titles guy. It makes sense. So what is Alexander Woo? Microphone's falling.
Maybe they're going to make a new belt. I mean, it would make sense to have a fourth belt.
They should make the Eastern European Championship.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they're like, it's built for us. Yeah. Except for, I mean, Italian's not Eastern European, but hey.
Is it Southern European?
I don't know. Mediterranean.
Yeah, they could just bring back the European Championship.
Well, they could, I guess. But then does that kind of, in a sense, that feels weird.
That would be really weird, especially if they were planning on making an NXT Germany.
Yeah. I don't think
like
they'd
the rumors
ever...
were.
Yeah, I wonder if they were to create a mid-card title, what would you call it?
No.
Because, anything outside... Because it's so specifically United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Just the British Championship.
Commonwealth?
Commonwealth. Yeah, Commonwealth extends further than that.
Well, yeah.
But...
I mean, we're part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Tony Storm's country is part of the Commonwealth.
Is PW... Is Sean Spears Commonwealth champ right now, or what is he?
Sean Spears is PWA Commonwealth champ.
It is Commonwealth. Yeah. That's what I was like, I feel like there is a Commonwealth
which is the mid-card.
Yeah.
In PWA.
And he's easily the biggest name right now holding a title in that company.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And he's at All Out going to be facing Cody.
Cody
freaking
Rhodes.
No, Cody with Brandy Rhodes. But yeah, where I don't even know where I wonder what you call the mid-card title on NXT UK.
When the NXT UK champion or the WWE United Kingdom Championship is the main belt.
Yeah, and it's not even branded to them, which is so silly. Like the fact that it's the WWE United Kingdom, that's always bugged me.
That makes it feel more prestigious than the NXT Championships.
Kind of. It also makes it feel like it doesn't actually belong. And maybe that's their idea, is like it doesn't actually belong to NXT UK, which is why we've seen it defended on NXT takeovers, not just NXT UK shows. I guess because, I mean, mind you, we just saw the NXT Championship defended on a non-WWE show, right?
Yeah.
Like on Evolve, but so I don't know. It's always felt weird.
And Adam Cole defended it at Download Fest.
Did he actually defend it in one of those dark
matches? Against one bomber, Dave Mastiff. Definitely not Adam Cole's dad.
What?
He lost.
Oh, are you going back to? He's probably your dad. Yeah. Just ask your mom. Gotcha.
Ask your mom.
Gotcha.
He might be your dad. He's the bastard.
I thought for some reason you were tying it into when Adam Cole had an interaction with Johnny Gargano's dad, and I was going to make, you mean Gargano's dad? Speaking of Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, all the familiar faces on NXT.
Gargano's Pizza.
Gargano's Pizza. Now a break brought to you by
Gargano's Pizza. Cleveland, Ohio.
Get some
pizza.
NXT this week was pretty good.
Pretty good.
We had more of the breakout tournament. Another good match.
Yeah, it was.
Why
very
your hands
good
in the air? What was that about?
I'll tell you in a second. When we get to that part about the show, I'll.
Well, like the breakout part?
No.
I'll say maybe I want to talk about that now.
Later,
what was our opening match?
The opening match.
I did not write anything down.
was
someone against someone. Oh, it was Matt Riddle.
Yeah, it was Matt
And,
destroying Arturo Huas.
Which was so awesome to see because they pointed out the fact that both these guys are trained in mixed martial arts. And they legit, it wasn't a legit MMA fight, but you could tell style-wise they based it on MMA.
Yeah.
What it reminded me of was as if Dana White in the UFC one day said, you know what? I'm tired of having matches that are really slow and they go to a no finish, right?
Yeah.
So this, I mean, which is basically, this is how professional wrestling became a thing. It was a legit wrestling
stuff
competition, and then you'd have matches that would go on forever, and there was no, and it was just like, so they wanted to bring more excitement into it, so that's when they started predetermining things. The way that they did this match felt as if, like someone like Dana White with UFC was like, well, I'm tired of not knowing, and sometimes matches are slow. We're going to predetermine things, but they didn't make it feel over the top. Was it different than actual MMA? Yes, you didn't have anyone like trying to pull guard or anything like that. But there was a lot of, like they were in fighting stances and trying to keep distance and gauge distance and all this stuff and then shoot for a take, like a single leg or a takedown or whatever. There were no like big slams that were like, or jumping off the top rope, anything like that. And how Matt Riddle finished it was very like legit MMA when he threw like a jumping knee kind of out of nowhere, and caught him, and he went down, and then ground and pound, and the ref called it. Ref stoppage. And as soon as he knocked him down and Riddle got on top and started throwing the hammer fist, I said, ref's going to call it. And sure enough, I was like, that's perfect. That's the way that match should have gone.
And it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they'll like, I sort of hint at that a little bit with some performers, especially with MMA backgrounds, being focused on things like submissions. So obviously like Shayna Baszler with her legit MMA background. And they just like choke people out and whatever. I like that this one was stopped due to strikes because in a regular wrestling match, the ref's not going to stop that. Right? Like, unless every now and then, I guess they kind of
Well, they did it with Matt Riddle versus Cassius 2.
Did they stop it due to strikes?
Yeah, he started pounding, like he was doing the elbow thing to him.
Oh,
and then he just started like palm thrusting Cassius in the back of the head until the ref stopped.
It's pretty great. But no, I thought this was fantastic the way they set it up and delivered on that. So that was kind of neat. I could be down for seeing some more of that kind of brought into it. But
I think that was really good.
Just as long as they don't go too far and be like, oh, let's put him in a cage.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like WWF did that.
A couple times.
WWE did that back when they were WWF with like Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock, and it was just a mess.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly, but so anyway, that was pretty awesome. I thought
it was a good match. We got to see now onto the breakout tournament.
Sure, we can get onto the breakout tournament.
Dexter Loomis. Versus,
how many times are you going to say one in this episode?
Versus one Bronson Reed.
I feel like you're only allowed to say that once. So
okay, I've hit my quota.
Go back and edit, rewind, and edit. I'm going to edit out all the ones.
Except for one.
It was a pretty good match. Dexter Loomis is intriguing.
Very.
Because, like, what is he supposed to be?
He's from an undisclosed location. Jacksonville,
I
Florida.
was say Florida.
He is Florida man.
He doesn't want to be. No, I was going to say he doesn't want to be associated with Florida man.
That's fair.
So he's like, no, undisclosed location.
Really interesting look. Like full arm sleeve on one and then a half arm sleeve tattoo on the other. And he came out in like white jeans basically or slacks and driving gloves, fingerless gloves. It was
Were they fingerless?
They may have been.
Maybe. I know he had gloves on for sure. Also wondering if he I don't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, did he have a mustache?
He did.
Yeah.
You said you really liked the mustache.
That's right. I was like, I feel like he had a mustache, and then he like blonde hair that was like slicked right over.
Yeah.
He had an interesting, like a familiar look, and I know you were saying that, he wrestled on Early Progress chapters at least once or twice, which I'm like, I don't know if that's what I feel like. Maybe I've seen him somewhere else, but never. Do you remember what his name was before Dexter Loomis?
Samuel Shaw.
Yeah. See, like, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Maybe I've seen him fight somewhere outside. Maybe it is just purely. I doubt he looks the way he looked 7 years ago.
He doesn't.
So who knows? But he had a very intriguing. And I was trying to figure out, I'm like, do I like this, Or does it remind me of, when going back talking about how we've watched old NXTs, when you see like them trying gimmicks and you're kind of like, didn't really pay off. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this.
It'll be cool.
I think he lost.
He did. He lost.
I said he would lose.
You said he would lose.
Yeah.
So I have one guy is carrying my bracket.
Yeah. I mean, I've only got 2.
And you've got 2 guys carrying your bracket.
One of which is not my winner. I do have one finalist.
Actually, you have one guy left. If Bronson Reed loses in the next round, and Jordan Miles wins in the next round, if Jordan Miles wins all the way to the end and Bronson Reed loses in the quarters, semis.
If Bronson Reed makes the finals, do I still automatically win? Even if Jordan Miles is there?
If Jordan Miles wins, you have 2 points, I have 1 point. If Jordan Miles wins the end, I'll have 3 points. If Bronson Reed makes it to your thing, you'll have 1 point. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I may have screwed up marking up the bracket. So who knows?
Basically, if Jordan Miles loses, I win.
Yes. I'm riding on Jordan Miles.
There you go. You got to do what you got to do. It was a good match, though.
It was.
We also got to see, this was kind of fun and a little bit of like a tease. Well, we had Kushida and Apollo Crews, which was a fine match. Mm-hmm. Apollo Crews getting a great reaction from the crowd, so that's got to feel good for him. But what I was going to say is, like, after that, they were backstage, and
I think that was before the Apollo Crews match.
The Tyler Breeze business? Yeah. Nah.
All right.
Because Tyler Breeze was, I believe this was right before Adam Cole's bit at the end.
Oh, yeah. He was having a...
He's doing a photo shoot and wandering around backstage. But what I was intrigued by is that he's like, I figured out what's going on here. I need some friends.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see, because then he runs into Forgotten Sons.
Yeah.
And the best line of the whole show turns to Jackson Riker. Didn't you used to be Buddy Murphy?
I believe he's like, you look good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But I'm curious to see who his friends end up being, because obviously he's going to have a match here and then he's going to have problems with numbers.
Yeah.
And then is he going to get some throwback friends?
Fandango.
I would love it. But like I said, Fandango needs to come back as Johnny Curtis.
And Derek
Bateman. You think he could grow the hair out fast enough?
I think he could.
He's got like short, like spiky hair.
He has like no hair, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to grow it out, his luscious curls.
I think Johnny Curtis.
But would he come back as Johnny Curtis, or would he stick as Fandango? I think he would come back as Johnny Curtis simply because the NXT universe would be like, whoa!
It's Johnny Curtis.
Let's get weird.
Yeah, also...
I'm a butt.
Patrick Clark.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
They used to, Tyler and Patrick used to be a tag team.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten there yet.
No,
but they did team together.
Is Victor still under contract?
Yeah, I think.
But I mean, Tyler was Mike Dalton when he tagged up with Victor.
Yeah,
and that was like very early on. But it would be interesting if he brought back someone new. He's probably. Let's be honest. If Johnny Curtis / Fandango is still hurt, he's just going to bring the B team back.
Oh.
That's who it would be. Who else is it going to be? Like Johnny Curtis.
Oh.
Johnny Curtis would be the best, I think, because I mean, obviously, it makes sense with the whole Breezango thing. But more than likely, because I know he's been hurt, I think more than likely it'll be someone like the B team.
Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
Yeah, Bo Dallas
and
and
NXT originals.
Michael McGillicuddy. Yeah. Anyway, I'm intrigued by that. That's an interesting.
Speaking of, McGillicuddy and Johnny Curtis used to be a tag team. They named their team Aggressively Weird.
That's right. I saw them tag once anyway, because I think they tagged in the tag tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then anyway, but so that's like an intriguing. I'm assuming it's just purely NXT TV. Maybe not. Maybe they'll end up on a takeover. But it's an intriguing little story for me, where I'm just like, what are we gonna do here? I like this idea. I like an idea, like it or not. And then the show finished with a non-title non-match. It was good,
Adam Cole.
It was good heel work, baby.
Offered up a match to one.
How many times can you say one this episode?
To Big Twan Tucker.
I'm going to start. It's going to be a lot of work for me. I'm not going to delete them. I'm going to go censor every time you say one. Beep. What was his name?
Twan Tucker.
Twan Tucker. Big Twan Tucker.
Big Twan Tucker.
Yeah. Who's only got about 500 and some followers on Twitter. It's got to bump that up.
What though?
What?
He follows us. Me now.
Oh, he followed back. I should see if he. Oh, this could be. Oh, hold up. Hold up. This. So I got retweeted earlier this week by both Isaiah Scott.
Yeah.
And Darby Allin.
Yeah.
If Big Twan Tucker does not follow me back here, you officially win the week. And you know what? I followed him on Twitter. Let's see. No, there's no Big Twan Tucker follow back yet. Hit me up, Twan Tucker. Come on.
I really like Twan.
Yeah.
I know he didn't really do much. He just came out and he was like, so it's just you and me.
Yeah.
And he's like,
it's too bad.
No, it's too bad because I didn't come alone.
Yeah. I got retweeted by Junior. That's
nice.
Awesome. Anyway,
that's
nothing to do with this podcast.
You mean Mark Andrews' band?
Yeah.
There you go.
Nothing
Tied it in.
If you want to hear me talk briefly about Mark Andrews on a different podcast, go subscribe to my other podcast, Growing Up Punk, because I have an interview with Mark Andrews. Well, not with Mark Andrews, with the lead singer of the band that Mark Andrews is in. That's coming out shortly. Anyway.
Oh.
But that's what they were retweeting, I guess. Yeah, so Big Twan Tucker says, I'm not alone. Johnny Gargano comes out. And the best part is Adam Cole's all confident, like, yeah, come on, it's just you and me. I'm going to give you an opportunity to slap the taste out of my mouth. And then that's when Twan's like, so it's just you and me? I didn't come alone. And then as soon as Gargano's music hits, you could like read Cole's lips. Oh shit! And he like takes the belt off. He's like ready to go. It was pretty good.
It was really great. Obviously, Twan Tucker needs to become a regular thing in NXT.
You know what we didn't talk about?
Keith Lee.
No.
Killian Dane. Oh yeah.
Killian Dane.
I literally posted on Instagram about Killian Dane.
And so rewind back to the first match. So I guess the next thing here for Matt Riddle is Killian Dane, because Riddle wins and then Dane comes out. And it's funny because Dane comes out. Yeah, Dane comes out and he's wearing a hoodie pulled up and whatever, like no wrestling gear, just like street clothes with his hoodie over. And my initial thought was, is that Cassius or is that Alexander Wolf? Because obviously when Wolf re-debuted, same thing, hoodie up.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, that wouldn't make sense. And it was so funny. I'm like, it's literally kind of someone just right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's Killian Dane. And so, he laid waste to Matt Riddle and literally put him through the stage.
Sentoned him through the floor of the stage.
It was pretty good. And yeah, so the Instagram post that you had is him crawling out.
Yeah. Looking all evil.
Yeah. And then you mentioned briefly Keith Lee. Well, it looks like him and Damian Priest are going to go at it next week.
Yep.
That's a match where I feel like I think Damian Priest will probably win, which I'm okay with because I like Damian Priest. I liked Punishment Martinez, this sort of thing. So but at the same point, I actually want Keith Lee to win this match to do two things. One, break the mold of these new big guys that have names.
Pulling a Cassius Ohno.
Well, no, these new big guys that have a name coming from somewhere and they just go on this big undefeated streak every time, right? Yeah. Every now and then, sure, that's fine. I just feel like we've seen it a lot. Like Kushida's doing that right now, right? Like he hasn't lost yet. Bringing in all these big names, which I like about Kushida. He hasn't had many just straight up sort of enhancement matches.
Yeah. Everybody who's anybody wants to wrestle Kushida. Wants to lose to Kushida.
Basically. And so, sure, I'd be okay with Damian Priest winning, but at the same point, I think Keith Lee needs the win.
I agree.
And with the whole, he's now no longer limitless, he's infinite, he's kind of doing a minor tweak of the character a little bit. I'm like, okay, let's make that credible. Give him a win, but I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be a good match between two big guys.
I worry because the whole Keith Lee's calling out the new guys because he's been here for a year and so he hasn't opportunities. I was told opportunities would be just laid at my feet.
Yeah, he's playing the Cassius card.
He's basically they replaced Cassius with Keith.
Which
and I don't want to see that. I want to see Keith actually do something. Well, in NXT,
and
something more. Well, in
think
NXT.
He will. I think right now that's his character motivation is just because he brought up the breakout tournament. He's like, that's an opportunity that was never given to me.
Yeah.
These 8 guys that the winner gets a title shot. What? So, yeah, I'll be interested to see. I hope that this kind of maybe kickstarts, because I feel like he got hurt. Did he get hurt?
Yeah. He and Dijakovic, I think, got injured. He didn't get injured as much as Dijakovic.
No, I think he got hurt before that.
Maybe.
But I could be wrong. It just felt like he sort of
he disappeared for a while.
He sort of debuted and then was gone a little bit, and then I don't know.
He came back with new music.
Does he have new music? Yeah. I can't remember.
Oh, bask in his glory.
Oh yeah, Anyway. So yeah, it was. I want to say this week, NXT was better than NXT UK.
Yes.
Are we going to start doing that? I just realized that was a thing. Just comparing the two.
All right. Which one was better than Progress?
Well, those shows are hard because those shows are harder because we don't sit down and watch them in one go.
Yes.
Like, can't even review Progress because you watch it over the course of 3 days, essentially. Well, a week, but in 3 different sessions. But yeah, no, I think I enjoyed NXT this week a little more than NXT UK.
I did too.
That probably the highlight for me would be the Matt Riddle match, which is great because
they said Arturo. Well, his name is spelled R-U-A-S. His last name is R-U-A-S.
Yeah,
but it sounded like they were just hoo-ah.
Well, I could. Well, I think because like they're probably like I don't know if the R is supposed to be like pronounced like an H sort of deal. Like I think they were probably saying it right. It's just the way the ring announcer said it reminded me of Roman Reigns.
Yes,
and his ooh-ah bit that he does. But it was good. Whatever. But that match, I just thought in its uniqueness was neat.
It was. It was very fresh.
Yeah, and then
because you can only see like Riddle beat people up so much.
Yeah.
I like Riddle, but.
And then for me, I'd say probably Cassius, Mark Andrews was a good second place. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm giving my vote this week. We're starting this brand new right here.
All right.
My vote this week goes to NXT UK. Nope, I said that wrong. My vote this week goes to NXT. First time, and I already screwed it up.
No takebacks. No takebacks. My brand wins.
So is that your brand?
No.
Is that the idea? I kind of like that idea.
I'm the NXT UK guy. You're the regular
It's like
NXT
playing
guy.
heads and tails. You don't necessarily have to. But you
don't have to agree. It's like obviously NXT was better this week.
Right, that's fair.
Regular NXT, not NXT UK.
That's fair.
But my pick clearly goes to Orange Cassidy.
And the Sundance Kid?
No.
Yeah, my YouTube feed is no longer full of Orange Cassidy matches.
Well, that's good for you.
That's a win because that was getting weird.
He's stalking you through
He's
YouTube.
stalking me. But what was your vote? NXT UK or just NXT?
NXT.
All right. So it's a clean sweep for NXT this week.
Yep.
Anyway, I think that'll wrap it up for this episode of Discover Progress, the podcast that used to be solely about Progress Wrestling. Now we talk about it once every couple weeks. We talk about other things more. Anyways, you can find us, as said before, in all the normal places you get your podcasts. Make sure you comment. No, you don't comment. If you're on YouTube, you can comment.
Yes.
You subscribe, you rate, review, that kind of stuff. Help get the show in more ears, please. And then also at allwrestling.com.
Where you can comment.
Oh, yeah, you can comment there as well. At allwrestling.com. And please go follow us on our social medias at Disc Progress. Twitter being The David Show, Instagram being The Adam Show. And The Adam Show wins this week because
Twan Tucker is awesome.
Big Twan Tucker. I'm going to take one last check before we move on here. Big Twan Tucker. Did you follow me? Big Twan Tucker. Did you follow? Oh, that's the wrong Twitter account. Hold on.
I was looking at the wrong Twitter the entire time.
Well, no, definitely not. Big Twan Tucker letting me down. So Instagram wins it this week. That'll do it. So goodbye.
Bye.